been nearly 10 years since I was a student in Vienna, but not a single day goes by where the impact is not felt in my life. My time there fundamentally changed how I view the world and how it's given me the ability to view the world and its issues from several perspectives. With that statement, it pretty much shows that studying abroad lets a person have an open mind and a belief in different perspectives than where you're at naturally. Okay. With the world constantly growing, I feel that it's kind of hard not to learn or even get engulfed in the culture because America is considered the melting pot, and so with that, you have different people in this world. Okay, you have different people from different backgrounds, and it's kind of hard not to learn. Or if you don't learn, it's because you're being ignorant and not trying to learn about it. And it's interesting because the amount of people here are the type of people who learn, who are almost considered smarter than us, getting the big businesses, the businesses that we strive to work for, and they're the people who we end up asking for jobs for. And so the people who are like, oh, I don't like this type of person, and at the end of the day, they're the type of people you're asking for jobs for. And so it's better to understand who you're talking to, get a better understanding of their background, and become more culture biased, because it shows you that you have that ability to learn and get a different view on someone else's life besides your own. Also, I know, especially in high school, we've all seen these foreign exchange students. I've seen more foreign exchange students in my high school than I've seen, I don't know, like, I guess here on campus because, you don't know a lot of people, but the amount of foreign exchange students studying in America versus Americans studying abroad is very high. And it shows that they're willing to come here, learn our lifestyle, but also go back and kind of teach it back or show their country what it is, how Americans do life. But also, they're also coming here to learn a way of life, but also try to build a better life for themselves. And like I said, they're the people who we end up looking for jobs for. And so it'd be beneficial if we do the same, if there are more students, more people studying abroad, and putting more American businesses in different countries versus over here where a lot of the big businesses are foreigners. And so it'd be very beneficial for us to become more educated about other countries outside. But it's also kind of hard. People become kind of distant about it because they're afraid to learn, because we're taught so late in our education about other countries and languages. I can remember that we didn't have to start learning another language till like late 8th grade, maybe high school, and even then that was only a year, 2 years at most. And so, it's hard to pick up another language when we're already old and we're like, what's the point? I already know English, people are trying to learn English anyway, why try to learn another language? When in fact, if you know another language, you learn pretty much the background of that language in another country and other people. And so when other people come to you, it shows like, hey, I'm willing to understand, try to speak, and like help you out in our country. And so with that, it shows people that you're willing to grow as a person, willing to educate yourself and try to understand and live another life, or at least be open-minded in another life than just your own. And that leads me to how studying abroad can gain you personal growth. And another student from the IES Study Abroad Journal, Caroline Gold, stated, overall, I learned a lot more about myself in that one semester than I did in 3 years in my home school because of the unique space in which I learned, experienced, and spent exploring other countries. And so that kind of holds true to me, and I know other people that I've met who studied abroad. I used to say I studied abroad back in high school when I went overseas to Italy to perform, but also learn different music styles and artists through my band. And so I learned also there that you kind of can't be selfish when there's other people around you trying to help you, and they're trying to almost teach you their way of life to kind of get through town. And if you're so cold-hearted and not be willing to learn, it shows that you still have growing to do. You're not mature enough. And studies have shown that nine times out of 10, people who study abroad have gained personal growth, gained a new idea of the world, increased maturity, and increased of self-confidence. And so with that, you're kind of like in a situation where you kind of have to grow up, have to like pretty much learn new things to get around. And so that takes maturity to even decide, hey, I want to study abroad, I want to go overseas, because it'll take a mature person to step outside your comfort zone to learn something new. And so that holds true to that. And also shows by personal growth that researchers show that students who study abroad gain everlasting friendships and relationships with people. Because you're in a situation where you both don't know what's going on. You're both needing, guidance on how this country works, how the language works, how the food is. And so when you meet somebody who's struggling, you're like, hey, I see you struggling, I'm struggling, let's struggle together.